Hello and welcome to the weekly package sync. Today we have a few items on the agenda. The first one is from David, who's not here, so I could read for him. He links to a note in a merge request that says that the workflow in review is not for issues, but that we have a metric that's called mean time for review. So maybe I'm not sure what the status of that is.
That's interesting. It is like, I feel like it is always a hassle to keep both up to date, but I usually just try to keep both of them the same.
Let's see. Maybe I could follow up on that with John today.
Yeah, I also apply to that because Tal put them in combo, both to the issue and the MR.
Okay.
And that metric does sound familiar, but I don't know if it's based off of issue or MR or what.
Okay. The next item is a technical one. When creating a GraphQL resolver, don't use anonymous functions. And then he links to a Slack conversation. That's especially for Ian and I think. Yeah. And then John, December on-call schedule says, please sign up if you have any interest or availability. And John is planning on renaming the package team handle based on the feedback in our internal team issue from package combined team to just package. And then Nico, you have the final update.
Yeah, so I discovered today that due to a change outside of the stage, I think we have shipped a slightly broke UI in the container registry. Nothing major. There is a separator missing in the breadcrumb. It just makes it look ugly. But this is not the point. The point is, I wonder if there is a process that we could do to avoid this kind of things, or at least like mitigate those. The functionality is all there. Otherwise, our test would have catched it. But this is one of those one of those events, like change all the usage of this component to this other component, right? And they're done like vertically across the full organization. But maybe, I don't know, if we can put one day, I don't know, 4 or 5 days before the milestone hand, that we just review the UI real quick and see that everything is all right before we close the milestone, or these kind of things. And I was interested in the opinion of everybody. If it's worthwhile, if it will help us, how it will look like.
Is it possible to automate it, or does it have to be a manual? It has to be a manual check.
There are solutions to do like screenshot testing. We do this in GitLab UI, but they become real cumbersome real quick, because then every change you need to regenerate it, and the pipeline breaks because of screenshots, and it's not in the product yet.
Okay.
Right.
Do you think there's a way that we could check when a component changes, that it goes through maybe more robust review or testing? Because if I understand correctly, that's kind of what happened, right? They did a component change. It impacted the container registry UI, but they didn't directly look at the container registry UI. This is what how we ended up with the break. Is that right?
Yeah, so yeah, that's correct. But they actually changed one of our components. So sometimes there will be deprecation, which is fine, which is completely fine. Sometimes there will be like a technology that we were using, it will be deprecated. And so a huge epic with 300 issues gets spawned, and everybody pick one, and it's usually a search and replace of a piece, right? In this case, the thing that's been replaced cut out the dividers of the breadcrumb. So this is why it's a bit hard to catch it. I don't know. It's just a bit of a bummer, and I would like to avoid these kind of things. I know the reason why this came to mind is that one of the other maintainers was saying a few milestones ago that he wanted to introduce the goalie figure. So it's a maintainer that is only go through to take care of this regression and unintended bugs slipped in by the end of the milestone, and maybe a similar process where, I don't know, Alpha Day is dedicated just to click through the UI with the latest master and see that everything is all right. But I don't know.
But Nico, what really is the problem with snapshot testing? Because as far as I have seen from other teams, this is exactly what they're doing to prevent.
But
the
snapshot
transition.
testing, so we do snapshot testing at the unit level, right? But this is like, it's a piece of HAML that changed, for example, right? I won't be able to test that. Screenshot testing, that's what I was saying, that we have it in GitLab UI, but I'm not sure it's gonna work on the main product.
We could just manually have a list of these things when they break, and then like a few days before, look for the things that have broken in the past, like a few days before. But that wouldn't be exhaustive. It would just be looking for things that previously went wrong.
Would it make sense to have a pipeline that does this kind of screenshot testing that just runs manually, so we can actually run it towards the end of the milestone and then see, and even if it, like, check it manually what fails and see if there is interesting things that fails or not? I don't know.
That could be interesting.
But this, when we're talking about screenshot testing, we're talking something about apply tools or Percy, or are we? Is it anything that I'm not aware of?
I don't know which one we're using in
When we test with the
GitLab.
visual.
Yeah, like we open the page and we take a screenshot with it. In this case, we will need Capybara to do it, and then some tool to compare the screenshot previous and before, I guess.
Yeah,
I know that.
but do we have anything like that right now in GitLab UI?
In GitLab UI, we use storybooks. Yes, we open storybook, take screenshot of that, and then compare. So we could theoretically copy something from there. I'm just not sure that the gain is worth the effort. Just now it happened, so I thought it was be worth to raise it.
Yeah, I know that there is an ongoing effort, and it's tracked regarding exploring something like apply tools or Percy, which is just like doing this visual comparison, but nothing was ever like seriously integrated in the GitLab pipeline. Some POCs just for checking out, but maybe this is something we can explore within the team. Just, I don't know, doing it during one day together. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a pair programming maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks for raising that, Nico. Anything else to add before we stop the recording? No. Thanks, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Have a nice week, I hope.